Now then, welcome back to another episode on the FTOG server, playing some more Avant 3. How you doing? Welcome back. So, last episode, I tried to put some things to the test. I tried to mess around with brine production. And I was going to build this brine tower in the nether, because I thought, in my naivety, playing around with mechanism mod, that the nether would produce the best temperature and therefore produce the most brine. But there seems to be something missing off the top, as pointed out in the comments by Balrog. Thank you very much. I should put some solar panels on the top. Now, when I was reading the wiki to do the 5 times ore processing for mechanism for the very first time ever, I looked at it and thought, right, I need to make brine. How do I make brine? Okay, I'll build a brine tower. Okay, it says that the solar panels are optional, that it doesn't need RF to work. Okay, done. So I'll make a little brine tower, and that's it. Job done. Move on to the next part of the 5 times ore processing. And then, of course, I found out that the brine production was key in the speed it's produced. And so I started looking at why it was not. But I didn't go back to the wiki. And of course, back at the wiki, I would have found out a lot more information about this thermal evaporation tower and all the things that you can do with it. Now, not everything is on the wiki, as generally is normal, but the 4 solar panels are. So let's just check it first before I break it and start showing you stuff. Okay, so this is a full maximum height of 18. If I add another layer of evaporation blocks on the top, it basically breaks it and it won't do it. So 18 is the maximum there, right? But the temperature right here, if you remember the last episode, we got up to 330 kelvins in the nether. And 320 is what we're running at in the end, right? But this is only at 309, which is a bit weird. I don't know why this is less here. But I'm going to put the solar panels on the top and see what happens. One thing just to note here, right, is this bar here is nowhere even registering on the bar. Now, I've got a few other comments that I'd like to mention. Thank you very much for commenting when I've got things wrong and doing things awkwardly. I need to learn. I need to learn these things, and my first time out with mechanism has proven to be more complicated than I first thought. So I've made some of these advanced solar panels anyway. There's quite the recipe to them. They need these solar panels, blah blah blah. I think when I first started making these, because you need recipes for everything, right? When I first started making these, then I checked the wiki and saw that I didn't need them. I stopped making them after I made one. And I think I showed that in the episode where we started doing the brine production. But never mind. Never mind, I'm putting them in now. I've made them and I'm putting them in now, and we're going to see how these work. They look awesome. And I would love it if they worked in the end. But these advanced solar panels have to register the sun true. Right? They have to register that the sun's here. And in the end, they do not register the sun. So I've had to come over to spawn, where it's eternal day, thanks to the cool things that they did over there with another mod, to make it eternal day. And presumably spawn chunked loaded. Presumably. If it's not chunked loaded, then we'll put a chunk loader down, a spot loader, just to keep this done. But I put it at the back of my warehouse, so that it can't really be seen from the front of the warehouse. And I'm stuck in a tree right now. Hang on. Let's get over here. Can't really be seen from street level. It's hidden behind at street level. There's not really a lot people can see, so this is good, yeah? So it's hidden, but then when you come around the back, it's going to be this great tower sticking out the back here. But that's okay, that's okay. I like it. But now it's reconnected itself. It is now looking like it is producing lots more and rising very quickly. And now we start to see the bar going. The first time I've seen any impact of a bar here. So literally what we were messing around with so far has been the starting temperature, like the base temperature. It gets up to base temperature, and then when it's got the solar panels, it increases that to, well, we're about to find out. It's still going, it's still rising. It's taking a very long time. It's taken a very long time. So I got bored and I thought I'd start recording again. We'll come back to it, I think, because it's getting there, but another comment that was made should be actioned as well, really, right? So Balrog told me to do the solar panels, and people in chat for the FTOG server told me solar panels and stuff. And then Chris also put a comment down last episode saying about putting some kind of heat in there. Chris said that it was only ever going to go to 1/3 of the way, and to get it the rest of the way you needed to transfer heat. And also Non-Sanity mentioned about transferring heat, and I'm not 100% sure how to transfer heat, so I had to do some research and looking up and things. And there is a thermodynamic piping set now in the latest version of Mechanism. I think it's version 9 onwards. We get a basic thermodynamic conductor, advanced, elite, or ultimate, and the thing, it transfers heat, which is incredible. But where does he get the heat from? Well, there's only one place that I can see Mechanism have, and that is heat generators. So Non-Sanity told me for heat generators with this thermal piping and put it into an extra port, and that should crank it up the rest of the way. And Chris confirmed that the heat generator with lava blocks around it should transfer enough heat to get it all the way up to maximum production. Maximum production being all the way to the end here. It's still a long way to go. It's still a very, very long way to go. And one thing I'm doing at the minute is producing brine that isn't going anywhere. So I also wanted to have a look at tanks. And the new tank from... the new dynamic tank from Mechanism is fairly simple to craft, but there is also a few other, another dynamic things, a dynamic valve, and there should also be glass as well somewhere. There should also be a glass, but we'll see about that. Like a glass tank structure, mana glass, there'll be something. I'll find it and then I'll make some, and then we'll be good for that as well. But there's so many pages of glass. There's 4 pages of glass because there's so many different things. I'm sure it's going to be in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure. There's so many different glass types. But anyway, yeah, there should really be something from Mechanism, a glass from Mechanism as well, that goes into tanks. So let's have a look on Mechanism. There's these normal fluid tanks, but I want a proper big tank that stores lots. And a dynamic tank apparently stores lots of fluids. And I want to store lots and lots of brine. A structural glass, that's probably what it is. Okay, structural glass, dynamic tank, and a valve to get it all in and out of the tank. So these aren't too difficult to make. The glass is glass instead of bucket, so that's not very difficult to make. And the valve just has one of those basic circuits in. That's not too difficult to make either. What was the thermodynamic things? What was the basic crafting recipe? Steel, copper, and more steel. Basic ones around an enriched alloy. Again, not too hard. The advanced ones around a reinforced alloy. Not really that hard. And then the elite is that yeah. So how much heat they generate is the next thing to figure out. But each one, I just take 8 of the first, make 8 of these, upgrade those 8 to the next level, upgrade those 8 to the next level, and upgrade those 8 to the next level. And we should be moving a lot of heat from a heat generator. And I don't know how this is going to work, but I'm going to do some crafting and work it all out. While this is still building up to its first third of the power. Yeah, the first third of heat. So just to see how much it's producing at 1/3 heat with just the solar panels. Hopefully this is chunk loaded over here. I think I'm still in spawn chunks, so that should still stay chunk loaded. And yeah, I may need to add in more water blocks going up the side, but that's why I built it into the ground there. I'm going to have a load of water going into there, kind of, I think something from the water here going into there is going to look cool, but in actual fact I'm just going to put these infinite water sources from pressure pipes in here and feed them in. I technically could have more pipes going in. I could have all 4 sides. I could have 4 sides going straight in there all the time. Maybe 5 if I'm lucky. Yeah, but anyway, I'm going to go back to the spaceship and get on with some crafting. Okay, so let's take a look at what I've done. This is the multi-block structure from Mechanism called a dynamic tank. It consists of, according to Walia in the bottom corner there, osmium blocks, osmium blocks, and osmium blocks. Very much like this is osmium blocks, and thermal evaporation blocks. Anything that doesn't make sense is basically an osmium block in this in Walia. But this here is the dynamic tank itself. Then there's a dynamic tank valve and a structural glass. Okay, and I've made just enough to make this little area here. One of the well, a few rules about making a tank. Okay, from this, all of the outside structural borders of the tank have to be full on dynamic tank blocks. The internals can be glass or valves. The valves need to have access into the liquid in the center. That kind of makes sense. So you can't put valves around the outside edge of the border, and the glass is there just to like pretty the thing up a little bit. These glass blocks are actually decorative glass blocks as well. So they say that you can use them in the multi-block structure or as decorative glass. Either way, it's pretty cool. Right, so that is a dynamic tank. Now I've set it up so that there's a valve here and a valve there so that we can transfer liquid straight across. But first, I want to just see the tank in action because I got these from testing. The iron drums and stuff, I used all these from testing. So I would like to just like stock the thing up here. Extract all of that in there. Well, it fills the whole thing up and shows the whole thing. But it's not actually full yet. It's got a volume of 64, whatever that might be. And already we're transferring 15 buckets or 16 buckets there, and it's not even registering on here yet. But this looks full, which is kind of cool because then you know exactly what's in it, but it doesn't show kind of a level of fullness. It doesn't show a level of fullness. But because it's dynamic, I guess this is just filling up there. Okay, well, I don't know how much this tank's going to actually hold. So I'm just testing it out right now. Let's just empty these containers out and see how much we can get in it. Volume 64. Probably understand what 64 means, but it doesn't seem to be registering on the brine scale yet or on the tank scale yet. So it looks like there's a lot of volume in there of liquid, even though it looks like it's full already. We can no longer see much detail in Walia in this version of Minecraft, but yeah, we can right click on tanks to see how full they are. So we know how much we've got left in there, and that's going into there fine. That's good. And now I should be able to just hook this up onto it and pump directly out as well. Now I know that there's plenty of space, I can empty out this tank I've got as well, which has got 16 buckets, and just kind of drop it all into here. Is that empty now? Yeah, that's empty now. Okay, and then I'll put this fluid tank there as well, which is another tank that I end up picking from. That's going down nicely. Okay, and still, we've only just made a little dent. So this can produce, or this can hold, a lot of brine. So, yeah, I hope the tower can keep up with it. That's all I'm saying. Right? That's going to be an output in the next stage. An output into my ender tank, which is white, purple, white, and diamonded to me. But I might make it public. If this thing works and I get more than enough, then I might make this a public ender chest. Okay, so, let's see. What are we getting at the minute? We're up to 1.21 thousand kelvins. And I don't know if that's a third of the way, but it doesn't look too far off, does it? Right, so we'll start transferring out from there, and that should run this down pretty quick. Okay, so it can't transfer fast enough. This is transferring 500 per tick per pipe, this is producing 50 and it's keeping it up. It's keeping up with it. So maybe this can't receive that much so fast. I may need to do more inputs here. But that's a nice steady stream. So at the minute, right, just with the solar panels, you can see water's going down dramatically. Just with the solar panels, it is producing 50 millibuckets per tick of brine. And the brine is staying nice and full. And we are filling this tank very rapidly. The problem being now is that the water's running down quick. And that water is just this one source block. So I'm going to have to do some more water input. But I also want to do a heat input over here. And I'm guessing that I need another valve, which I'll go and fetch. But I wanted to test out this thermodynamic conduits. Thermodynamic conducts to try and figure it out. So what I'll do for now is just pop that, take that one, and put it down here. I'll just use this valve for now. And let's put that in there. Okay, so I'm swapping that out. And I'm going to put this in. I don't want to transfer the brine all out at the minute. We've just done that little test. This should have remade itself. Yeah, we've done that little test. We'll let the water fill back up again. There's no need to empty all the brine into this tank yet. We know we've got plenty. We know we can store plenty in there. So I'll put another valve in there a bit later on when I'm ready. But for right now, this valve needs to receive lava power or heat. And those thermodynamics, I made 32 of the basics and then upgraded 24 of them, and then upgraded 16 of them, and then upgraded 8 of them to make one of each type, because it doesn't tell you how much it transfers heat wise, so I don't know which is necessarily the best for this job. So let's see. Now, one of the ways that I've seen this done, and I'm gonna just put these in here out the way. One of the ways I've seen this done is put the heat generator just there, right? And this has already got some lava in from earlier, right? That it's now converting into that energy there. But I want to pull out the heat, and I'm not sure if I can pull out the heat from here with these. So I'm playing with it, and of course they don't want to break very easy, do they? Because they're mechanism pipes. So where do we get the heat out of? Let's start with an ultimate. Right, so this is generally the power output. So do I need to connect it to another thing? No. Maybe I need to physically connect it and not break everything on my way. So where was my tool for that? I had a tool for that. It's probably in my tool bag. It was the configurator. The configurator. And redstone sensitive mode on and off. It doesn't want to connect at all to it. I wonder if we can turn this round maybe. Let's see. Do we have another way around? Can I connect to the back? Doesn't look like it, does it? Doesn't look like it. And there's no particular wiki shots of how it's done, how it's transferring over. So let me go and have a look at Non-Sanity's place, because Non-Sanity has done lots of cool stuff over in his little base over here. And oh, look at this from MJ Rose. That is some amazing chisel and bits work, that is. That is some amazing chisel and bits work. Look at these arches in chisel and bits. Wow, 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 wow. That's all I can say. Wow. I will be, I think this is a shop, so I will be employing the services of MJ Rose to maybe try and come up with some futuristic designs for me. Also, I've seen the Psi Jedi Academy has opened up over there. That's pretty cool. Check out episodes for those. Now, I don't know where he's put this. I don't know where he's got it from or anything like that. But this is a thermal evaporation thing that's doing stuff. And I don't really know what that is. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what it's playing at. But that says thermal evaporation block. And that is an induction matrix. So I don't know where that's going. And I don't know where the brine tower is that he's got going on as well. He's got all sorts hidden over here. And I'm not sure where his brine tower is. Yeah, lots of stuff going on, but I can't see the brine tower, so therefore I can't really check up on it. Well, there's some really cool stuff though. This calculator conductor mast. I'm not really into the calculator mod, but that does look like it'll look really cool on the top of my ship, just as decoration. Right, okay, yeah, anyway. So yeah, I've got to try and figure this out myself, I guess, as I can't just go and check somebody else out. I've got to figure this out. I might go and watch a few YouTube videos and figure out how to connect this heat generator up. And get back with you when I know what I'm doing. Because the couple of things that I do know, right? Can't break it with that. The couple of things that I do know before we get off and I go and find out new stuff, right? This is like early game heat generation, okay? And you just put a lava source block on the top and it should flow down the sides. Let's put a block there. And I guess I'm going to have to block this off as well because I just messed that one up. Okay, and then it flows down either side of it. And then that should passively generate heat, or RF, right? Just passively generate. Active, you'd put lava directly into it, but passive, it's generating electricity. But I don't see what heat I can take out of it. That's the problem. How to take the heat out of it. I've got all these different thermodynamic conduits, but I can't see how I'm going to pull the heat out, where it's going to connect. Because that is the output for the power. Okay, we're looking good, we're looking good. We're up to a temperature of 1.51 thousand Kelvin. I think I'm saying that right, Kelvin. I think Kelvin's a measurement of heat. I'm pretty sure. But there's this now set up, right? This only connects to the underside. And in my research, the basic thermodynamic conductor is all you need. And it is basically going into a valve. So similar to how these all go into valves, and there's valves coming in and out and all that kind of stuff, the heat goes into a valve, right? So we got that. And also, I could take some power out of there if I wanted. But I don't want, so I'm not bothering with that. And then I'm pretty sure that just one bucket of lava, I've set this up so it's underneath the tank, by the way. So it's not going to flow forwards, it's only going to flow down the sides. Set this up so that that goes in there, right? And that then adds flowing lava to 1, 2, 3 sides of it. And that should generate some RF, just passively, but also generate some kind of heat. And I'm hoping that that's going to boost this up a fair bit. So this, well, it's already gone up a little ways. It's going up by 1,000 Kelvin at a time now, but the production doesn't change. 50 is still the maximum production, it seems. So it may have been a waste to try and get the heat up there. The heat may just be getting rid of the water a lot faster, you see. So it might not be worth it. If it doesn't do more than 50 millibuckets per tick, then, well, what can you do? Maybe this is restricting it to 50 millibuckets per tick. Maybe that's all there is to it. And I need to figure out a way of making that faster. Or dispersing faster. So I've got, well, I've got a lot of water to pump into it at this rate. I've got a lot of brine to extract at this rate to see what per tick it's doing. Now, there may be faster ways of doing this. Like, there may be, I could put a speed upgrade into here somehow. No, I don't think there is a speed upgrade for these, is there? And I don't think there's a speed upgrade for outputting. I could put a fluid tank in there and it'll fill up. Oh, wow, look at that. 130 millibuckets per tick at its full potential there. And that soon filled that up, didn't it? Wow. Okay, that's quite a lot. That's quite a lot indeed. Yeah, I like that. That filled it up really fast and did 130 millibuckets per tick. And the temperature's still rising. Temperature's still rising. But one of the other things I researched was these other heaters from Mechanism. Now, a recessive heater, I believe it takes RF and turns it into heat, okay? Which then can be set next to the evaporation chamber and heat the evaporation chamber that way. There's also a fuel wood heater, which I think takes combustibles like carbon materials that it burns, like coal and stuff like that. And then that produces heat. And they both produce heat enough to make this a full-on full-on heat machine. So I'm expecting that this will get all the way up to the end eventually. But I do need to sort my water out, and I think then we're probably good with this, just leaving it like that. I might put something to take the 1 RF per tick out of here. But really, I don't think it's worth it, is it? I doubt it's worth it. Yeah. And this basic thermal dynamic conductor seems to be working just fine. If I try and upgrade it, I don't know if I can get any more heat out of it, or get the heat out of it faster. It's just a matter of time, though. Once this is heated fully, then it should be producing as fast as it can. But yeah, 50 per tick is not too bad. 50 per tick is not too bad. It's filling this up at a steady 50 per tick. I don't know. I don't know whether I should make it go a bit faster, because if this can take it faster, then maybe I can do something like this and have a little tank there, which is designed to pull out from here, and then it could potentially be pulling out faster. That's stuttering a bit. It's pulling out 100, so this tank could potentially be pulling out at 100 per tick, and then this stutters into place. So there's more experimentation needed, but I'm getting there, and I've got lots and lots of brine now, so let's just test it out with what we've got in here. I will put the ender tank on the side here. Let's put it there because that looks cool, and I believe I've got to put input or output from the top or the bottom, so I'll just come underneath here, like a saw, and have it extracting from there. There we go, and I'll disable that one just because it looks nicer flowing underneath like this, and then that's giving me a lot of brine coming out from the tank. The tank's value is still holding, so this needs to be on push, so we can start transferring it across that way. Yep. I might even take an empty tank and put it there so it pushes it across faster than the pipes can, which might work. I've got another spare tank down here because I was using it for my lava, but I can always make another one for the lava a bit later on. So yeah, there's an empty one. We'll take that. Thank you. And head back up. And jump. Thank you. Oh man. I love travelling so fast, but at the same time the world doesn't like me travelling so fast. And then we can take this off here and put the tank, that tank there, up here. And then we can set this up so that it's pulling from there and pushing into there. There we go. So it should now start pulling quicker. I mean, it's still flashing at 100 because we're not using it all up fast enough. But this is possibly moving it into there a bit faster. A bit faster than pipes, maybe. The pipes kept it at a steady 50, and this is flicking up between 100 and 0. So I don't know what's the better way of travelling. Maybe you could leave down below in the comments some ideas about transferring the fluids across. Because I don't particularly want the whole face of this being valves and the whole face of this side pumping across in independent valves to produce like 200 per tick or whatever. If this is transferring 100 per tick, then that's not too bad. See, that doesn't seem to be pulling out at all. Or maybe that's its limit, 100. It's transferred it all over to there, and that's its limit for input. Maybe the dynamic tank's input is limited to 100 or 50, maybe, something like that. Because this is still flashing. We'll have to do some more experimentation on that. Let me know down the comments what's going on. But I want to now just quickly test that they've got enough brine in there producing. Well, I've had my processing running smoothly for quite some time now, and my brine levels have not decreased. Now, this may be because I've got a great big tank full of brine now. Lots and lots of brine just sitting there, and I'm not using it fast enough to empty that big tank out. So it's all good. It's all good at the moment. I'm going to monitor it and keep checking it and looking back at it. But one of the things that I consider is potentially taking this resistive heater that requires RF to heat the chambers and just setting it up inside this spaceship, because I've got a lot of power inside the spaceship from the solar energy that I'm generating from. There's a lot of power coming from those solar generators, and I could quite easily pipe the power around and put the heater in here to try and transfer heat into these guys to make these more productive. So I wouldn't necessarily need the one at spawn then. I could carry on with these. Or I might take all these out and then put the ones at spawn. Let the one at spawn just do all the work for me. But one of the key things here is that I quite liked the idea of having them sticking up and out of the ship as a feature block, kind of a feature block. I kind of like the idea. I don't know if I will. I'm still going to think about it, but I'll think about that before next episode. That is it for today. So, thank you all very, very much for watching another episode on the FTOG server playing some more Avant 3. I have probably done all I can with these Brine producers now. Just a few little bits and pieces here and there, and I will figure the rest out sometime soon. Next week, or next episode, should I say, next episode, maybe we should try a little bit of building. Try and do something of a different pace, because we had 2 episodes working on mechanisms, brine production in the thermal towers. those things that produce brine that I've been talking about all episodes. I've forgotten the name of. Yeah, those things. We've done a couple of episodes on those now, so maybe we should do a little building next episode. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you in the next episode of Avant 3. Goodbye.